I need to make more money from my business, but there's never enough hours in the day. Have you ever found yourself feeling that way? Like, do you ever feel like you're really, really busy? But if you look back at how much money that actually generated, it's not hitting your goals. Do you ever wonder why? Why is that happen? You're like, I'm working so much. I'm doing a lot of stuff, but the bank account is not reflecting the amount of work that I feel like I'm putting into my business. So let's talk about that today. Why is that not working for most women entrepreneurs? Most women I talk to, if we really look at where your time is going, we find that you're focusing on busy work, but you're not doing high value income generating activity work. And there is a difference. And I want to talk about that difference for just a minute. So, the average business owner that I meet with is doing at least 20 hours per week of what we decide is $20 to $25 an hour or less value work. It's something that you could pay someone else to do. And and if we do the math, 20 hours per week at $25 an hour over the course of a year, about 50 weeks, is just $25,000. Let's do that math again. 20 hours a week, doing $25 an hour work over 50 weeks is just $25,000. However, most business owners are capable when they are doing high income producing, high value activity in their business are capable of generating $1,000 an hour. And so if we take that same formula and said 20 hours a week at $1,000 an hour over the course of a year, about 50 weeks, that's $1 million. And so what that means is that most entrepreneurs could, if by shifting their activity that they're doing, could generate an additional $1 million in their business in just 1 year. And I have to tell you, I've seen multiple entrepreneurs do this simply by shifting the activity. Well, here's the problem. Most of us don't even know what we should be doing. What is the high income producing activity that's going to work for me? And so we see people trying complicated strategies, feeling overwhelmed, getting burnt out before they even start making money. And so the thing that I want to share with you that feels kind of counterintuitive is that instead of working a lot of hours in your business, work less hours, but focus on high income producing activities. Focus on doing things that either create massive income to the business or that increase your energy. And we want to be brutal about this. We want to be brutal about getting rid of things that are sucking your energy instead of giving you energy, or that are wheel spinning, feels like I'm not getting anywhere fast. Activity that you could delegate to someone else or simply stop doing because it's not working. And then instead focus on the activities that move the bottom line, that move the needle for your income. And I want to give you a couple of examples of what I'm talking about, because for most of us, we don't even know what that would be. It's like, if I knew that, I would be doing it. If I knew that by just simply stopping doing certain things and starting doing different things, if I knew what those things were that would absolutely generate income in my business, then I would be doing it. And so I want to give you a couple of clues because it's different for every business. And so there's not a one size fits all of you should absolutely do this particular activity, but there are a few things that if they fall into these categories are likely to be on your income generating high value activity list, which means we've got to prioritize time in our calendar for those activities and let go of things that are not working. So let's talk about what some of those types of activities are so that you can start to evaluate what's on your calendar and say, am I doing those things? And what's crazy is when I will say some of these things out loud, if you look back at your calendar, it is likely that you spend very little time doing some of these high value activities, and the rest of your time is like busyness. It's doing things that are like administrative, or that like feel like they have to be done, or I'm trying this new thing out and I've got to learn about it, and then I've got to struggle with the technology behind it, right? And so there's a lot of things that we're doing that we hope are going to lead to some of these things. And so I want to give you a couple of examples and see if some of these are things that you are doing. And so high income producing activity for a business owner will always fall into five different categories. One of these five categories, what you are doing will have an impact in one of these five areas. Okay, you ready? So, number one, it is doing something that directly generates leads, that increases your number of leads coming in. And I want to be really clear. If you have a team and you're managing people, then if you're managing people whose job is to generate leads, then that falls under that category, because you may not be the one who's doing all these things. You may be the one who's managing the people who are and getting the right people in place and systems in place to be able to get these things done. And so when you're working on leverage in those areas, that is also working on those areas. So number one is your number of leads, increasing your number of leads. Number two is improving your conversion rate, doing things that actually close sales, get in front of people to close deals, put a system in place that improves your ability to close sales. It may be working on your scripts, your language. I won't get into all the details around how you can improve that. And I'll share more about that in a future training. But improving your conversion rate. And those, honestly, those are the top two things as a business owner that you've got to keep a close eye on, and that you need to be investing your time in, especially if you are in a startup phase and you are the one. If you're the one who is making things happen in your business, then you need to make sure that the one person who can generate leads and generate sales in your business, that is happening at a really high level. All right. So number one is leads. Number two is conversion rate. Number three is improving your average dollar sale, or increasing your average dollar sale. And so what that might mean is that you are either working on improving your targets so you are able to sell a higher ticket, or you're improving your quality of the type of leads that you're getting, so that you can close a better deal, a bigger deal that generates more dollars for you. Because not all deals are created equal, right? And so focusing on something that increases your average dollar sale. Number four is something that improves your transactions per client or per person that you're working with, where you can get repeat business, where you can make an additional offer to someone that you're working with, where you make sure you're providing such excellence in customer service or communication that people are going to want to not only work with you again, but they want to refer you, right? So something that improves that experience. And again, if you have team that helps you with customer service, or that helps you with following up with past clients, nurturing, et cetera, then you managing your team and directing them to do these things that you need done, that's your high value, right? Okay. And then the fifth area is things that improve your profit margin. And so this might be things that are like, if you're doing, for me in real estate, if I'm doing a deal, I want to get 3 bids, because I'm going to if I get a lower cost of doing the work, but a good quality. But if I can save money on the initial bid, then I am going to have a better profit margin coming out of it. Right. Or if I will keep an eye on my finances, my costs, make sure that I have systems in place for my financials. It is not going to directly make you income coming in, but it is absolutely going to improve how much of that money you get to keep, because you're paying attention to the dollars. Does that make sense? And so So if you are not focusing on a regular basis on things that directly generate leads, that convert leads, and you're like, why am I not making money in my business? That's where we need to focus. And there are dozens and dozens of strategies that could fall under each of those categories. And so figuring out what's the right strategy for you is the job. That's the job of the entrepreneur, is figuring out, okay, well, what should I be focused on? And so if I were in your shoes and I'm feeling like there's never enough hours in the day and there's so many things that need my attention and that take my priorities, then I would get super, super brutal about what needs to come off your plate, what needs to come off your calendar, and what needs to go on your calendar, and make it like your non-negotiables each week. Does that make sense? Figure out what are those top strategies that are most critical for you, that will produce the most potential for income in your business, and say, if I'm going to make money in my business and I'm going to hit my goals, what has to give? What am I going to say no to? What am I going to stop doing? And so I want you to look at your calendar over the past couple of weeks. Do you have time blocks that you stuck to, that are activities that will generate income, that are moving you towards your goals? Or is over 50% of your time spent working on activities that didn't really generate income? Are you getting leads? Are you making deals? Are you getting new clients? If not, then maybe you need to take a look at what are the things that need to be on my calendar and what needs to come off my calendar. Your calendar is the key. And so if you're not clear about what are the right strategies for you, you're not exactly sure about, okay, I don't even know what my big goal is, that I should be making sure I'm selecting strategies that align with that goal. You may have a few ideas about what you want your life to look like, but if you don't have specific goals in your business on how many leads you need to generate and what you need your conversion rate to be, and how you're going to impact those two areas, and all the other areas that we're talking about, girl, I got you. I am so excited. I've got a new masterclass coming up where we're going to dig into some of this stuff. And I have a new strategies. And I'm also going to talk about the mistakes that I see a lot of women entrepreneurs making. But I want to invite you to that masterclass, where I hope that you're going to gain some new insight and some new clarity about what do you need to do differently so that you generate the income that you truly want from your business. If you want a spot in my upcoming masterclass, then I'd love for you to join me. Grab your spot in at jointhemasterclass.com, and I will see you on the masterclass. Because if you've made it to this point in this video, it's because I know you need help. And I'm here for you. I want to share with you some really cool things that I've learned. I've been a certified business coach for more than a decade and grown multiple types of businesses in lots of different industries, in service-based industries, in consulting and coaching, and in real estate. And I've coached hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs to be able to grow their businesses. And the strategies that we're talking about are some of the most powerful income producing strategies that you want to make sure that you have blocked time for on your calendar. So grab your spot in the masterclass at jointhemasterclass.com.